Hello all. Time passes so quickly with so much change occurring in New Zealand as it relates to the combat of COVID-19 and on New Zealand immigration. Now, the intention of these bulletins has been to make you aware of the key changes so that you are in fact prepared. Our borders to New Zealand, they are closed, but we do have a bubble between Australia, allowing New Zealand residents and citizens, and Australian residents and citizens to move freely between our two countries without quarantining on arrival. This hopefully will be a boost to our economy. Now, New Zealand immigration change in the last 12 months, 55 policy changes compared to the norm of 5. But what is the norm today when our government is being so private about everything, and when announcements come through, you're not getting the full story, only what sounds good? This means we have to research the fishhooks with the announcements. Now, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Ranson. I'm based in the Wellington region, which is our capital, and operate throughout New Zealand with a global outreach. I'm a licensed immigration advisor, accredited and licensed by the New Zealand government, specialising in all types of New Zealand immigration, apart from refugee law, and we have been around for 30 years. I'm updating New Zealand employers, migrants in New Zealand, those who are sadly trapped offshore, resulting in families being split between countries, a terribly stressful and inhumane situation. Now, this week on Wednesday, in New Zealand immigration with the officials. Now, I was being made aware of the challenges ahead and areas being worked on. Now, the 30th of April, changes came into effect to help reunite partners and dependent children with temporary visa holders working in this country. Partners and dependent children must be based offshore, and the supporting partner must be based in New Zealand. Now, the changes are limited to 3 main categories. So if you are holding a relationship-based visa through your partner who holds a temporary visa at the time when the New Zealand border closed, your visa remains current, or it would do if it had not been for a first entry by date stated on your visa as 19 March 2020. So you, the partner, hold a temporary visa granted on the basis of your relationship, and the visa is still current, and the temporary visa holder in New Zealand holds a work or student visa that is valid for at least a further 12 months from submission of a request to travel. Things are changing for you. Now, if the partner offshore didn't activate the first entry date, the visa can still be considered current if you enter New Zealand before the last day of validity of the visa term. So go and have a look at your visa labels and see what's there for you. Now, this also applies to family of workers in critical health services, or the person is the partner or dependent child of a temporary visa holder currently in New Zealand who holds a temporary visa that specifies work in an occupation needed to deliver critical health services in New Zealand. Then we have those who are the family of highly skilled workers. Now, this is defined as skilled work in New Zealand. So they must be paid at least $106,080 per year and must meet the other critical workers requirements. And that namely is unique experience and technical or specialist skills that are not readily obtainable in New Zealand, or have a role essential for the completion or continuation of a science program under a government-funded or partially government-funded contract, or your role is essential for the delivery of an approved major infrastructure project, a government-approved event, or a major government-approved program, or an approved government-to-government agreement, or work that has a significant wider benefit to the national or regional economy of New Zealand. Now, the temporary visa holder in New Zealand must have a visa that is valid for at least a further 12 months from submission of a request to travel. If you want to have more information about this, look, do contact me or one of my team. Employers, the minimum hourly pay rate for migrants is increasing, and this is imminent during July, and indications are that in the first instance, this will shift to $27 per hour. Now, the relevance of the hourly rate determines whether an applicant earns below or above the medium hourly rate, and the term a visa could be issued for. Now, temporary work visa holders earning below the medium hourly wage, your visa will need renewing each 6 months for 3 years, and you're going to have to pay government immigration fees every 6 months before you have to leave the country for 12 months. New work visa rules will be introduced, which is a move towards an employer-led model. Accreditation. The introduction of a compulsory accreditation on all employers engaging migrants. This will be formally announced in a couple of weeks, currently not available. This accreditation process, unlike the current employer accreditation, will not give a work to residence pathway unless the migrant is paid $106,080 per annum, based on a 40-hour week. And those employers holding the current accreditation will have this slowly phased out through the expiry date and not renewed. So in preparation of the new accreditation, be proactive, plan and prepare. Have an audit on your HR practices. Do they meet the required standard? Without gaining the accreditation, you're not going to be able to employ migrants, and we can guide you. Yes, the intended changes will impact on your employment of migrants. Investors, do you want to make a difference for your future? If you are an investor keen to relocate, look at New Zealand. There are good opportunities along with gaining New Zealand residents. New Zealand is a safe haven and we need you. Please do look at New Zealand. There are opportunities and you can make an impression here on the economic recovery of this country. So let me know. We at Woburn International are a great team of knowledgeable, skilled people with high values. So talk to us about what you would like to achieve with your immigration needs. We will assess your prospects at no charge. I'm June Ranson, and our website, Woburn International, or june.ranson@woburn.co.nz. So until next time, keep safe and healthy, and thank you for listening.